உள்ளே காத்து பிடிச்சு விளையாடிட்டு இருக்கிற.
விளையாடிட்டு இருக்கேனா? This is Tai Chi.
Oh, f*** off. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Welcome back to our Bad Movies World Tour. You may be wondering, didn't we already cover the worst Indian movie? Well, yes, but India isn't just one film industry. Lumping all the diversity into one stain is rather unfair. We have explored the depths of Hindi language films, so today we head south and give Tamil cinema a chance to embarrass itself. This is The Legend, a 2022 action movie written and produced by Aru Saravanan, who predictably also stars in the lead. Aru the Legend Saravanan is heir to a large retail chain in India and infamous online for his cringy commercials. As you can see, despite having the charisma of a blow-up doll in the thrift store, Saravanan loves being the center of attention. One can only imagine what he'll do in a 2.5-hour movie. Oh right, this! Friends, let's brace ourselves for a cinematic masterpiece of Asian. This is The Legend, the worst Tamil film ever made. The Legend Saravana Store Production presents Legend Saravana presents Legend Saravanan. The Legend. Subtitle: The Legend. The movie opens with the medical mafia hunting escaped prisoners used for human experiments. Two rebels fight back, but the bad guys counter with traditional American martial arts, showing just how badass he is.
Solomona.
நீங்க நினைக்கிற மாதிரி அவன் சாதாரண ஆள் இல்ல விஜய்.
Is a man of focus, a sheer f***ing will.
Look at those eyes. Sheer f***ing will. Who are those? We then have a proper introduction to our hero at a medical conference. A professor introduces Saravanan as the world-renowned, most beloved, absolute best, unparalleled scientific genius.
இன்னைக்கு என்னோட பெஸ்ட் ஸ்டூடண்ட அறிமுகப்படுத்துறதுல எனக்கு ரொம்ப பெருமையா இருக்கு.
The speech goes on and on.
தன்னுடைய துறையான மைக்ரோபயாலஜில DNA மாடிஃபிகேஷன்ல
And on.
டாக்டர் சரவணன்.
And then he finally appears. Look, I'm not one to criticize people's appearance, but this movie is really testing me. But yeah, this is our hero, Saravanan, played by Saravanan, presented by Saravanan. Of course, he gives his own speech and it lasts just as long. And then, there's a third introduction to Saravanan. It's like watching Return of the King backwards. He returns to his village, everyone worships him.
Sir, kalyanam panna nammooru ponna pannuveengala illa foreign ponna kalyanam pannuveengala sir?
And that is what the first half of the movie is about. Saravanan goes to somewhere, does something, and everybody claps. He meets an old classmate who fanboys over him. He visits a university where a student cries because a bully drew a naked body with her name on it. Saravanan fixes the image. Bruh. And everybody claps. No, seriously, they do.
And you?
Yeah?
Are brilliant.
The film spends an embarrassing amount of time buttering him up, bragging about how strong he is, how smart he is, how universally beloved he is. The actual plot doesn't start until 50 minutes in. That's 1/3 of the runtime. Turns out his fanboy classmate was diabetic and passed away suddenly. Heartbroken, the world-renowned, most beloved, absolute best, unparalleled scientific genius decides to invent a cure for diabetes.
என்னுடைய படிப்பு அறிவு ஆற்றல் அத்தனையும் பயன்படுத்தி அந்த மருந்தை நான் கண்டுபிடிப்பேன். அதுதான் என் மக்களுக்கும் இந்த உலகத்துக்கும் நான் செய்ய போற முதல் கடமை.
I'm already tired. If you like to become a world-renowned, most beloved, absolute best, unparalleled scientific genius, then you gotta study hard, and also have a website from Squarespace. After all, you need publicity, and a website is infinitely easier to find than a movie. You don't need to pay or log in, everyone around the world can find you. A website is also easier to make than a movie. With Squarespace, you can start from scratch or from a pre-made template. The editing process is simple but offers infinite possibilities. Most importantly, a website is professional and a lot less embarrassing than a vanity movie. Instead of having multiple social media listed on your business card, you can put one link to rule them all. It shows your brand, boosts consumer confidence, and makes you seem cool AF. Start a free trial at squarespace.com/accentthecinema. Use the code accentthecinema for 10% off your first purchase. So if you got something to show it off in an instant. Don't waste 2.5 hours of people's lives. Visit squarespace.com/accentthecinema and start your website today. Alright, back to the movie. Sarawanan begins working on a cure and becomes the target of the medical mafia. Yes, this movie runs on a conspiracy theory that Big Pharma doesn't want a cure. His wife is killed and the second half turns into a quest for vengeance. To do that, he turns into Batman, working on a cure by day, fighting bad guys by night. Actually, he turns into dollar store Zack Snyder. Every fight scene is, well, slow-mo, slow-mo, slow-mo again. It's giving me a headache. The speed ramps don't even enhance the impact. It's just to show off how cool he looks. And he looks... God, this movie is really tempting me. By the way, isn't this where Kido used that poor waiter as a human shield? The story also starts and stops. Sarawanan tortures the henchman for information, turns around for a second, and an assassin kills the henchman, sending the plot back to square one. His research is sabotaged, but fret not, Sarawanan is suddenly dancing in Ukraine. Why? No idea, he's just there. The song ends, and he's back in the lab like nothing happened. Dancing sequence with no story is a common problem with Indian movies these days, but here it is especially egregious. Every music sequence can be skipped over. That's why I'm ranting instead of summarizing. There is no plot. In the end, Sarawanan doesn't even find the bad guys. The bad guys find him. They kidnap him, but keep him nice and clean for some reason. The final act is even more lectures. It goes on and on, and on and on. Oh my god, at least KRK knows when to stop.
You are my foot!
Well, the mastermind is revealed to be Sarawanan's sexy assistant. By this point, I was so tuned out, I didn't even care how hot she was. The movie is so bad, it made me asexual. Sarawanan beats everyone up with his not Tai Chi, and credit where credit is due, the chair fight is decently choreographed. But it doesn't change the fact that the entire finale only happens because the bad guys decide to show up, kidnap Sarawanan, and do nothing to him. Being the good guy, he refuses to kill her. Instead, he decides not to save her. Told you he's Batman. An angry mob surrounds her, and he walks away smiling, leaving me deeply disturbed. Holy f***. Alright, I can't believe this, but I'm defending Sarawanan. Usually I'll talk about a movie's reception, production background, and cultural impact, but you can figure out most of it. Rich dude makes vanity project, the internet makes fun of it. Yes, it's fun to dunk on him, but Sarawanan's only crime is being rich and putting his fantasy on display. With an estimated net worth of 150 crore, he's not even that rich in the grand scheme. As far as I know, he hasn't done much harm with that wealth either. Sarawanan is kind of an embarrassing guy, but the problem is the movie, not him. So for the next part, take it as a criticism of the film's message, not an attack on him personally. Let's talk about Lex Luthor. In the 2025 Superman, Lex openly announces his motivation to kill Superman.
Because you're destroying us!
He claims Superman's strength exposes humanity's weakness, and his envy is a calling.
It is the sole hope for humanity because it is what has driven me to annihilating you.
Yeah, right. Do not for a second believe a word about how he is fighting for the sake of humanity. Every word he spits out is a show for the world and for himself. He hates Superman because Superman takes the spotlight from him. Rich assholes like him hate good people because they can roleplay as the hero when people see what actual heroes look like. This is the part of the film that truly irks me. Saravanan wants a humble origin as a village boy, but his character's home looks like this. He wants to be the man of the people, but the dynamic is always that of a noble, indulging peasants who beg to touch him. Him lifting a goat is treated as an act of virtue. As if any labor he does deserves applause. And applause is all this movie is. He lectures a class about bullying, everybody claps. He says he will cure diabetes, nobody questions him. Even during a malpractice investigation, people fawn over him.
Dr. Saravanan ஒரு renowned world famous scientist. ஏற்கனவே பல ஆராய்ச்சிகளை சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா பண்ணிருக்காரு.
Every deed is waiting for a compliment, yet he can't be bothered to learn the basics of Tai Chi. After the last few years of living in the West, I have no more patience for shit like this. Next time, when you see a billionaire talking about helping humanity, ask this. If they are here to help humanity, why are they exploiting their workers? If they want to fight climate change, why are they traveling by private jets? If they want to give back to the community, why aren't they paying taxes? Are they really here to help? Or are they just LARPing us the saviors, waiting for your applause? Again, I hate the movie, but I don't dislike Saravanan as a person. Except that bit about Tai Chi, that was just insulting. I guess I also don't like him as an actor. I mean, dude's acting is rock solid, as in he has the expressiveness of a rock. I also kinda hate his fashion sense too. His clothes was way too form-fitting, making his head look way too big. I mean, he looks fine in the commercials, but here, the Pomodoro is gotta be a violation of the Green Lantern code. That thing bounces with every step, is practically a character on his own. It doesn't help that the movie applies a very aggressive skin smoothing filter on him, making him look plasticky. He looks especially uncanny in the action sequences thanks to the subpar face replacement. Oh, and the Instagram level of composition really doesn't help.